Peace, love, and light, everyone. I hope all is well. This is your girl, Serena, and welcome. Welcome to a segment of Literary Artistry. For those who don't know who I am a self published author, a poet, a spoken word artist, and a workshop facilitator and publishing coach. And today I have an amazing guest. I love her so much. So I have spotlighted Watersprings in the past. I think I've talked about you every season, girl. This is season 5. Okay, so I'm like, when I work with folks and we work together as a partnership, I'm going to talk you up. And especially when other authors are or aspiring authors are afraid to dip their toe in the self-publishing world, helping them to try to dispel those myths. So I said, you know what, let me just bring Athena on. Okay, and we could talk and versus me putting up a slide and pictures. I'm like, let's bring in the real person. So I have Athena Shack here with me of Water Springs Publishing, and welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Live and in color.
Yes, yes. I love the color too in the background. Love
Thank you.
the blues and greens and everything in between. Yes. Yep, yep, yep. So tell us a little bit about who you are and of course, who and what is Water Springs Publishing?
Well, as you've mentioned, I'm Athena Shack. I am an author, multi-book author. I think I'm on book 7, working on
Wow.
book 8.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
and I'm the publisher of Water Springs Publishing. But I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 3. We were just talking about that. I'm a mom of
Yes.
3, a wife, minister, and an entrepreneur. And so those are all of my hats, all the things that I am blessed to be able to do. Um, and be, I should say, blessed to be able to be. And of course, Water Springs Publishing, which is my baby. Water Springs Publishing started from the desire to write my first book. And when I went
Mm,
through all of the process, I realized,
mm.
hey, this is a lot of work.
It's a
This is a lot of work.
lot.
And I had about 95% of the skill set to do it on my own.
Mm,
But when I got to the end, God was like, I'm glad that you made it through.
okay.
And, um, but, you've created this company and it's not going to be just for your other books that you have in your heart. I want
Mm,
you to be able to help other people navigate this world of publishing who don't have the skill set,
yeah.
who who can't Google their way through or YouTube
Mm-mm.
their way through trying to publish a book. So 10 years in, 10 years later,
Wow.
this is what I'm still blessed to be able to do, work with incredible authors, such as yourself, and help people bring their book dreams to fruition um, in a way that is professional,
Mm-hmm.
still have your independence,
Yep.
um, and create legacy. So
Mm,
this is what I do. This is what we do, um, and we get to help authors who are self-publishing,
mm,
who who have decided that traditional publishing may be outside of their reach,
mm-hmm.
and do it yourself
Yep.
may be outside of your skill set. All
Yep.
right. And then our lane is hybrid publishing.
Mm,
So we're able to bridge the gap between having someone pay, having to be paid to publish your book and paying, uh, and just kind of do it on your own. So we live
yeah.
in that space in between that is called hybrid publishing. And so that's what we do.
I love all of that. And I remember when we met. So it was when you said you were, I'm like 10 years. Okay, so Crying Tears of Teal came out in 2017, which is still like, okay, that was 8 years ago.
Yes,
And
that
I'm
was close to my start.
that was close to the start. And I'm like, wow, like, okay. And you were like a one woman show at the time. I was like, how is she doing? I was always in amazement by you. and met you through a wonderful friend of mine and your sister, Stacy Y. Thomas, and reading her book, her first book. And I was like, Stacy, who did your book? Like, who worked with you on your book? And she said, "Oh, I have to introduce you to Athena. You know, she's great. And, you know, she did this, this, this." She said, "You know, I didn't do any of this." She was like, "I wrote it." She said, and I passed the torch. And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I would love to meet with her at the time." My first book was underneath another company I had worked with. And by the second book, that company was going, they were closing their doors. And they worked on the book cover, but I was like, I don't have anybody do my typesetting. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, I knew I wasn't doing that. And like you said, we could Google our way through. We got AI, all this. I want that personable touch. And when I met you, I said, okay, this is different. I got the cover, but I do not have the inside done. And we talked. I'll never forget that first time I talked to you. I was in my car. I was on speakerphone, like, let me just pause while the child is at camp and just talk to you. And yeah, that book was published September 2017. And the first time I saw the preview, like you said, oh, I'm gonna give you a few pages. Tell me how you love it or like it. And you showed me also an example of a page with imagery because I have art in my books. I was absolutely in love. I remember I had to pull over, open up the book, and I remember crying in my car because I was like, she captured it so well. And I'm the person to say, here's my book, go for it. I'm not, I'm hands off. I know you were saying you like that. Like, oh, I get to create. No boundaries, no, oh, I want it to be this, this, and this. And I was like, just go for it and surprise me. And yeah, and that was back in 2017, and we've been working together ever since. Three books later. So I have four altogether, but three: Crying to the Teal, The Awakening, and Artist Paradise. Yeah, yeah. So I just had to do a walk in memory lane. And but yeah, 10 years. Happy 10th anniversary. That's major. This is
It
a
is.
milestone.
It is. It's coming up. I think October, uh,
Wow.
my anniversary month. That I really should be planning to do something. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. Just trying to
It'll
keep
come
up.
together. It will all come together. And before you know it, it might be a 10th anniversary. It's because it's all year long. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
October could just be the kickoff and be like, all right, I'll plan something bigger later, or it might just all come together. So I know we have there's authors that watch this segment, aspiring writers, um, people who are writing. They're like, I finally wrote the first page or two pages. Um, and then they come to my workshops. I do self-publishing workshops. As you know, I always give you a shout out in the workshops. And I have a whole reference list. I was like, here's my references. Okay. Here's folks I work with. So you don't have to go on Google or go to these websites trying to find people. These are good people. Can you just give us an example of how you walk an author through a new author too? Because sometimes there's that fear, and especially when they're giving you their book. I always tell folks there's two pass offs. It's to the editor, and okay, now the editor, but it still looks like a Microsoft Word document. Okay, so you got to pass the book on to now, in this case, your company.
I tell people when people call me, they have all the butterflies, all the angst, all the anxiety, and it's their first major step
Mm,
in getting it to the point of relinquishing control. Sometimes it's they haven't gotten it to an editor, so they don't have that professional feedback. And
mm,
so taking
mm.
that first step, um, it 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 makes everyone really, really nervous.
Yeah.
But I tell them that number one, no need to be nervous. Like, I'm not going to buy. But number two, we've all been there, right? I'm
Hmm.
not just a publisher, I'm an author too,
Yeah.
right? So I understand the butterflies. I understand the anxiety. I understand the overwhelm. Everyone comes to me with some sort of range of emotions in that, right?
Mm,
We all have the desire to publish well. We have a desire for our published work to be respected, right?
mm-hmm,
And so that comes with a lot of angst.
mm,
And you're venturing out into doing something that you've never done before. You know, you could be a teacher, you can be a social
mm-hmm,
worker, you can be a retired, person, you can be a student, you can be a CEO,
mm-hmm.
you can be all of those things. You can have all kinds of success. You can be a pastor, right?
Yeah.
You can be all of those things and still have anxiety, nervousness,
Yeah.
doubts, and all of those things to get to this point. We've all been
Mm.
there. So, like,
Oh,
no shame in how you feel. We all have had something in between, right? So, the best step is that first step into moving in the right direction and saying, hey, I've written this book or I'm writing this book. What do I want my end to look like? And
mm,
that's the question
mm,
that I ask people from the beginning. What is it that your heart wants to do with this book?
mm.
Right. And
Yeah.
when I'm able to hear the vision, now, number one, I know what it's going to look like in the end. A
Yeah.
great vision, I should be able to see it at the end. I should be able to see your readers. I should be able to see a marketing strategy. I should be able to see your brand, right? So good vision is
Mm,
that's my gift. I'm able to see all of that, and then we have all of the tools to bring it together. But all of the nervousness, all of that, by the time we get to the end of our process, it it it's gone. It's gone. Now that
mm,
you have new angst and everything like that because your book is done and now you got to sell it.
mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, all of that's it's normal because you're doing something that you haven't done before. This is not your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're in new charted territories. And yes, there's a lot of information out there about publishing.
Mm,
There's multiple paths to publishing. I
yeah.
mentioned like three just now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got traditional, you got hybrid, you got self-publishing, you got do it yourself, you got all of these things in between with different vocabulary. So
Yeah.
it can be super overwhelming. But
Yeah.
I love the fact that you give resources. And
Mm,
it's important because there are so many vendors out there. There's so many
yeah.
companies that's out there. And so that just adds to the overwhelm of, okay, I know I should be going somewhere doing something, but who do I go to? Where do I turn? Can I
Yeah.
do it myself? What can I do myself? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have your skill set. Everyone even doesn't have your lens.
Mm,
And some people like Stacy, who didn't know what she even had in her
mm-hmm. Yes.
when she
Yeah.
started. So there's things that you steps that you have to take, right?
Yeah.
But the best thing is knowing what your end should look like, knowing
Mm,
where you're going, and then work your way backwards and say, hey, if I want my book to be able to sit on the shelves of, this type of reader and
mm-hmm.
produce a quality book to reach that type of reader.
Yeah.
You want your book to open doors for speaking engagements and for workshops and to be able to monetize. Then your book needs to have certain things um, in, inside of it and look professional. So you need to know just how you want to end,
Mm,
get the right partner, or acquire the right tools to get there.
wow. That is incredible. And like you were saying, look at the end. And some don't quite know what the end may look like. They may just say, well, I just want my book done. I just want
Yes,
my book. But like you said, okay, once the book is done, okay, you have the barcode in the back, you got your ISBN number. It is a book. What's next? And some are afraid to think of what's next. Some are afraid of that marketing piece, which you do work with people so wondrously and effortlessly. I tell people from Crying Tears of Teal, we did the typesetting, but we also did a marketing plan. And I was like, okay, this is all new. I didn't do the first book. The first book, I just jumped out there with it. I had a book, but I was like, okay, this is different. And so many people gravitated to the marketing plan. And then with the awakening, we tweaked the marketing plan. And I remember it was around the holidays. So you were saying, okay, this is an extra because your book is coming out right before Christmas. So let's make it even, and I remember that's when I put in the pre-order and started doing pre-orders and everything. And this was before I was even on Instagram. I tell folks, this was when I was solely on Facebook. Okay, I had a YouTube channel, but I had maybe, I don't know, two videos. And so it was really email marketing and Facebook and word of mouth and the pre-orders and the holidays and having the book signing even right before the holidays worked. But we planned it
There you
and
go.
you walked me through it, and I really thank you for that.
That's the key word. If here's the secret. Here's
Mm-hmm.
the secret sauce.
Okay.
We know about writing.
Mm-hmm.
We've written a book, and then we know about publishing. What's missing in the middle is the plan. The plan is
Mm-hmm.
going to be the difference between success and failure. That
Mm.
that is the secret.
Wow.
It is the planning. So if you do not plan for book income, you will not have any.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, like that is literally the secret. And so it's about having strategy. What you just described from one book launched from the next one, it was strategy. You had
Mm-hmm.
a different strategy. And that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Planning and having a strategy. And because there's so much involved in writing and publishing,
Mm-hmm.
what people fail to realize is that part of publishing is distribution, is marketing, is promotion, it's
Mm-hmm.
sales, it's PR.
Yeah.
It's not just production,
Yeah.
not just having a book printed, right?
Mm.
And it's not even just getting the book on Amazon. And if that's your goal because it was a passion project,
Yeah.
then hey,
Yeah.
that's you did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Got it all your family can get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to go beyond your sphere of influence, if you want your book to have the maximum impact and reach people who don't know you, who don't live in the same state as you, who don't live in the same country as you, but you know that that your book can impact their lives, then you have to have a strategy that goes beyond your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And that requires a different hat. You
Yeah.
take off your author hat, bam, put it down.
Oh yeah.
Now you got to put on a new hat. And see, I can hear you breathing because
Because I know
it's a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a
It's
lot.
like, okay, the book
Yeah.
is done, and now what? And
Now what? Yep. And that's
yeah.
exactly it. And I'm actually working on a whole series called Published. Now what? Um,
Oh my gosh, that's so
so stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I
I'll
love
be back
that.
because so many authors, and here's a statistic. Um, the average number of books sold by self-publishing authors is about 250 to 300 books for its lifetime.
Wow.
That's the average.
Not a year. Okay, a
Not
lifetime.
here.
I'm like,
It's lifetime.
oh, mm,
All right. You can Google it and you'll find it. Ask
okay.
chat, they'll
They'll let you
tell you
know.
the thing. All right. And why? Because we haven't done the planning part in the beginning. And
Mm,
right. So you get to the end and you think you're done. You think Amazon is gonna be everyone is just gonna flock to Amazon and whoever everyone is,
yeah.
because you haven't
Yeah.
identified a reader,
Yeah. You don't know who
right?
your
You
audience
haven't
is.
had
Yeah.
any kind of messaging to your reader, right?
Mm.
You just think that folks just gonna find it.
Yeah.
Folks will not find it, right?
Mm.
You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan to reach your readers. You have to have a plan to um, be your book's ambassador, right?
Yeah.
You are your
Yeah.
book's ambassador. You are your book's brand. And it doesn't take, and it sounds like a lot, but it really just takes some sitting down and
Mhm.
thinking.
Yeah.
It really does. You do not have to have a degree,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
don't have to have a degree. You just cannot be scared.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Remove fear.
Mm.
You have to remove fear and then open up yourself um, with your why, right?
Mm.
Why did I do this?
Mm.
Did it to what? To entertain, to encourage people who've gone through this type of thing. Whatever your why is, that's what has to drive you in that second part of your journey. Even the writing, trying to get to the end, the final chapter, the final poem,
Look,
the final. It's a lot. You
it's a
know,
lot.
pat yourself on the back when you get there,
Yeah.
and then remove fear for the second part of the journey,
Mm.
and focus on your why.
Okay, we're gonna have to have you back, Athena, because that I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to just focus on the that could be a whole segment, focus on the why. Because I think some authors, I don't want to say they lose that, but you that's a constant. I know for me, even after the book is done, got copies out there, even my books that are 10 years old. What was the why? And who
Mhm.
am I still trying to reach?
Yep,
And sometimes you revamp who you're
yep.
supposed to reach. Like, okay, well, I thought it was going to be for this audience, but now this audience is cropping up. Um, so I
You
love
can
that.
have multiple audience
Yeah,
one
yeah,
book. You can have a primary reader and a
mm,
secondary reader,
yeah.
right? And quick tip, a different time period, let's say at one quarter, maybe you target your primary reader. Another quarter or another month, you target your secondary reader
Mm,
so that you can still have a full year of marketing and still getting your readers, but just break it out a bit. Just
mm.
quick tip, quick tip. That was
Quick
free.
tip, quick tip. Okay, free tip, y'all. Free tip. So we have a few minutes left. I know one question that a lot of writers ask me is, well, Serena, after you were done with your book, how long did it take from start to finish once you passed it off to, in my case, I have an editor and I work with you. But once they pass the book off to you, everybody has this question, right? So I tell them everybody's different. It really depends on the timeline and when you work with, Athena.
There's a couple of factors that play into time.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the length of your book, right?
Mm.
A 50-page poetry book or 20-page children's book is going to be a lot different than a 500, textbook manual type
Yeah.
book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the length of your book plays into that, regardless of what path you take, your length of your book, the quality of your writing. Okay,
Mm.
even if it's 30 pages,
Okay.
if it's a
Okay.
bad 30 pages,
Yeah, it's going to take us
it's
some.
going to take
It's going
a
to take
long
some
time,
work.
right?
Okay.
Uh, a bad 500 pages, you
Mm.
just go back to the drawing board. So the strength of your writing, the length of the pages,
Mm-hmm.
your book's genre. So children's books, um, it may not have a lot of text, but you have illustrations,
Mm.
which prior to AI has taken time, especially if you have a actual human that is
Yes.
sketching your illustration. So that timing will be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so there's those factors. And here's the thing, when it comes to timing, people like going the self-publishing route because they can control time, which is great. We love that. We
Yeah.
don't have to spend 24 months trying to get someone to approve our book and
Yeah.
work on it, right? Now, if you're self-publishing, you need to be less focused on time and more focused on quality.
Mm, mm.
And I say this in the nicest way. Nobody cares it's your birthday. So trying to squeeze to publish by your birthday, no one knows, no one
No
cares.
one
Just
knows.
make
Yeah.
sure that it is a quality book. Look at the calendar. Does your book resonate with a particular national holiday? You know, a women's leadership book. You can do, whatever the month that has, women businesses or whatever.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but don't pick arbitrary dates and force yourself to publish
Mm.
on that date, and
It's not right.
it's not right,
It's
and it's not ready, right?
yeah.
You want to play into your book's audience, your book's marketing and what will work. Then you can say, I always tell you, go to the end, right? What's that end goal look like, right?
Hmm.
Then work your way back. And that can take for some, for some, most of my first time authors, a good 6 months
Mm.
for an average book, 150 pages,
Yeah.
nonfiction, right? Children's books, novels, memoirs can be a little different. It can be less time, right?
Yeah.
You also want to build in time to proof your book. Okay,
Yeah.
so for me, for my authors, when I give them a timetable, we have built in proofing time. Yes,
Mm.
been through rounds of editing prior to layout. But once we get that book and we think we're done, oh,
Yeah.
we're going to get that book in hand and we're going to go through to
Yeah.
make sure that we've caught everything that we've missed on screen.
Mm.
So you want to know what's at stake, number one, but you
Mm.
also want to know all the stages. There's editing, there's typesetting, there's design, there's proofing, there's distribution, there's marketing. Add all that in, and you should have some solid time to get it done. Like include all of that. Don't just stop at writing, include your marketing,
Yeah.
include building your infrastructure and payment systems and
Yeah.
landing pages and branding. Include all of that. You're not going to get that done in 90 days.
No. No. And again, I'm gonna have to bring you back because between the why and that part, yeah, we're gonna put a pin in it because I know people are like, oh, but wait, like, no, you gotta come back. So I want to thank you so much. I mean, you just dropped so many gems. I just love you, period. I love working with you. I can't wait to talk to you. I have to set up another meeting because I got to talk to you about the next set of books coming out. Like, okay, it's time to talk to Athena again. So, with that, tell people how they could find you so they can talk to you too and book that time.
So you can find all of what we do at waterspringspublishing.com. That's our website. Also on Instagram, Watersprings Publishing. Um, and for writing support, thepublishingboss.com.
Mm.
So if you're not quite there ready to publish, thepublishingboss.com, we have things over there as well. And so I'm Athena Shack. It's me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Athena. I appreciate your time today and sharing with the audience. And I know I'm hoping they were taking notes. I'm going to put that in the little description. Bring your notepad, whatever you do, take some notes. That is our time for today. If y'all love what you hear, feel free to also go to my website, serenawills.com, SerenaWills.com. And you can follow me across social media platforms, Divine Right, DivineWryte. Don't forget that Y. That's my spoken word and poetry name. And yes, yes, and you could check out my books. And when you see the credits, you will see Water Springs in the credits. So thank you again, Athena. We'll have you back. And much love and take care, everyone. Bye for now.